Hello dear viewers, my name is Yulia and I invite you to our new interview with the student section. And our guest is, introduce yourself please.
Hi everybody, my name is Katya.
Tell us about yourself. How old are you? Where do you study and what is your field of study?
I am 20 years old. I study multimedia in economic practice at the Faculty of Informatics and Statistics of the Prague University of Economics and Business.
Where are you from?
I'm from Brno, Russia.
People from Brno, hit the like button, okay? What year are you currently in?
I finished the first year and now I am a sophomore. I finished the first year successfully. I passed all the disciplines.
Describe in 3 words what this first year was like.
It was definitely a changeful year. So the first word is change. Lockdown, it was everywhere. It influenced everyone. And the third one, again, it is connected to the lockdown, bombs.
Tell us please, you arrived in the Czech Republic with zero knowledge of the Czech language. Am I right?
No, not exactly. I studied the Czech language with a tutor back at home, and later when I arrived in the Czech Republic, I attended a 1-year Czech language course. I did not take any additional subjects. I prepared for admission exams by myself. Yeah. So I started learning the Czech language about 1.5 years before admission.
Was it helpful?
Yes, this knowledge was enough for me to enter the university. I passed the Czech language exam with 80 points out of 100.
Tell us please, what kind of admission exam did you have for your program?
There were 3 exams: English, Mathematics and Czech.
Did they contain test tasks?
Yes, there were test exams in all 3 subjects. Test in math contained multiple choice questions. Test in the Czech language basically was the same. There were several parts such as comprehension, reading and some grammar tasks. Test in English also contained test tasks.
How do you assess your level of the Czech language now?
Well, now after a year of study, my level of course is much higher in comparison with the year of courses. That's because you have to immerse yourself in the language much faster at a university, and the level is growing exponentially.
So you think you have bridged the language gap?
Not completely, I guess. Basically, you can learn any language, like the Russian language, like your mother language, all your life. So I'm still learning the Czech language.
I agree, okay? Why did you choose this field of study?
In fact, while choosing between several programs offered by this university, I found it very interesting. I didn't want to study something ordinary like economics. I understood that as a creative person, I wanted something more like, on the one hand, applied, and on the other hand, creative. And the multimedia in economics turned out to be just what I wanted. It combines both these aspects.
Let's talk about the inner working of the university. What does training look like? What disciplines do you have? What are your favorite disciplines?
Let's suppose you have been already admitted for the program. All disciplines for the first semester are scheduled and you can choose only English and physical education. There are such disciplines as everyday aesthetics, art history, regional culture, and of course we have very interesting and applied subjects such as photography and graphics.
Interesting.
So if a student with zero knowledge in such disciplines as photography, graphics, sound, video...
Did you have zero knowledge?
Yes, I had zero knowledge. I had absolutely no idea how to hold a camera, how to work in special programs such as Photoshop, Illustrator. They taught you everything you should know. At the same time, a very interesting fact about my program is that it combines students with zero knowledge at the beginning of the studies and those who already have some basic knowledge, like, people who already work in these spheres but they want to have a higher education as well. We all study here together, and at the same time, everyone finds something new, something interesting.
I have another question to the point. Do you have any gadgets? Did you have to buy a camera upon admission?
Good question. In fact, at the time you admitted for the program, you may not have anything. Basically, they will tell you what you will need for the study. The most important thing that you have to invest in is probably a good camera. It can be either a DIL or a DSLR camera, it doesn't matter. You will be taught to work with any gadget. You will figure it out.
What camera do you have?
I have an Olympus DIL camera. It's a middle class camera, but I already plan to buy something of higher quality to do more extensive projects.
You mean you will have to improve your gadgets year after year?
Yes, you come to understanding what needs you have, and your gadgets should satisfy these needs.
Is it true student of your program is the owner of his or her schedule? That you can choose your discipline that you want?
It is partly true. As I said, in the first semester, most of the disciplines are already scheduled, so you can't choose another. But starting from the second semester, you can schedule your own study load. For the second semester, I chose disciplines in such a way that I had only 4 days of study, and for another 3 days, I could work and go about my business. You can also schedule all the disciplines for 3 days, or you can, on the contrary, fill the whole week so that the study load is more or less balanced, so that you don't have to spare too much time for study in one day.
What about the attendance? Is it obligatory?
Lecture attendance basically is voluntary. As for the practices, it's more or less obligatory because the professors know you by sight, and it is better, of course, to attend. But then again, it's in your best interest.
You mentioned that you work, so you have time for your work and study. Where do you work? Our subscribers will be interested to know.
In fact, not all students are brave enough to combine study with work, especially during the first year, because you can't really understand what kind of study load awaits you. I didn't work in the first semester as well, but at the beginning of the second semester, I found a job and I successfully combined work with study because I scheduled the disciplines for the first part of the week. So, in the second part of the week, I mostly work. And what is also interesting about multimedia programs is that while studying, for example, graphics, firstly, you do not have any knowledge. You're taught how to do elementary things. You redraw some logos, Adidas or Twitter, something like that. And by the end of the semester, you already know how to create the visual style of an event. So at the end of the semester, you can successfully implement some freelance projects.
What software do you use?
Well, we mostly use the Adobe Cloud.
Very interesting. I don't know what it is.
These are mainly Photoshop, Illustrator, Lightroom, specifically for photo processing. And in future, we will work with video editing software.
So a student must have a laptop because it is impossible to do this on a phone.
Of course, it is better to have your projects handy so that you can do it anywhere. But at the same time, the faculty and the university provide all the hardware and software, but you can use it only on the territory of the university. You can come at any time, book a place, and work for free. The university provides licenses for all software, therefore, the education is free.
Katya, we have a question for you from a subscriber. And the first one sounds like this. What do multimedia specialists do? And what are the prospects after graduation?
Multimedia is a broad field of study. Basically, you can find job in such spheres as photography, graphics, sound, post-production, video.
Are the graduates of the University of Economics and Business in demand specialists?
Again, thanks to the fact that during our studies we collect a large portfolio, we have a very great chance to find a job. And in comparison with some private universities, a public university is valued more. Therefore,
I agree. And to my mind, the most interesting question, is your programming more creative or rather economic?
it's technical and creative.
Nice, right. What levels of English and mathematics are required for admission?
The B1, B2 level of English is enough. I mean, intermediate or upper intermediate level is enough to enter and complete 2 semesters of compulsory English. As for the mathematics, to pass admission exam, you should of course prepare because the tests contain topics that are not studied in the schools in Russia or Belarus or Ukraine.
Our subscribers are very interested in whether you recommend GoStudy courses or not. As a graduate of GoStudy courses, you can say for sure.
I have nothing to compare with, but I was satisfied with the GoStudy courses. They met all my expectations, even exceeded to some extent. So yeah.
And the last question. I'll come up with it right now. What advice do you give your younger self before coming here, as I understand it?
Probably none. I would do the same.
You wouldn't change anything.
I wouldn't change anything.
Self-assurance. Let's talk about the present time. Semester exam, what are they like?
Well, I passed all my exams for the first year. Both exam periods were very interesting because the first time we had 5 disciplines postponed due to the fact that there are reports about bombs at the university.
Bombs. We should beep it.
So, someone called or wrote about a bomb at the university. Therefore, a lot of disciplines were postponed. And the second time we had to take exams online, mostly due to the lockdown. That was not very comfortable somehow, but on the other hand, you were mostly at home, so there was more time for study and preparation.
I see another question, I think very interesting. When you take the exam at the university, was there any opportunity to cheat somehow? Crib from your neighbors?
Not a chance.
So you have to study.
Yes, you have to study, of course. There is a rather serious policy regarding cheating, and if you're noticed, then you can, in the best case scenario, the results of the exam will be cancelled and the credits for this discipline will be written off. In the worst case, there can be even administrative penalties.
I see another question. How many Russian-speaking students study with you?
This is also a good question because our program admitted only 60 applicants. In fact, there are a lot of applicants for a place and it is difficult to enter, but about a third of those who were admitted are Russian-speaking guys. So you will not stay there alone among the Czechs. And we have a lot of Slovaks, so it's like multinational program.
I get it. And what is the attitude of the Czech professor towards the Russian-speaking students?
Mostly very good because our program is very young. We have young professors. We even have a Russian-speaking teacher who communicates with Russian students in Russian and with Czechs in Czech. And the Czech professors are also very supportive. I even had a funny situation when during the exam I forgot one Czech word and the professor told me, well, write it in Russian, it doesn't matter.
Convenient. That's great. Let's talk about the accommodation. Where do you live? Where did you live when you studied at the language courses?
The first year I lived in the apartment student house, it's in Hodov, and then I moved to an apartment. I mean, I did not live in the university's dormitories, but I heard a lot about them.
It's hard enough to get there, I heard. You need to book a place.
You need to book a place, yes, and some dormitories are harder to get to than the other. If you want to get into one of the dorms, it is better to choose the Roosevelt dormitory. It is located in Holshowitz because it's like the best option.
Tell us please, what is the balance between the self-education and the training at the university? Actual training.
I think compared to the other programs at our university, it is 50-50. I mean, a really large percentage of knowledge you get directly in practices, but then again, you work with some software, use some tools in Photoshop, for example, and then you get an assignment that you must complete on your own based on the knowledge received in such practices.
And where do you usually do your homework? Where do you study? Some cafes maybe you can recommend?
The university, of course, has its own premises where you can study and a library as well. But my favorite places, of course, are coffee shops where I can drink tea or coffee and study.
Let's talk about the university canteen. Did you go there is my first question.
I have been there several times and I really had a good impression because the average cost of a full meal is less than 100 Czech koruna, which is very budget friendly, a very good option.
Is it great for students?
Yes, it's great for students.
As a student of the Czech Technical University, do you have any advantage, like some kind of discount?
Yes, of course. We can get discount with the ISIC student card. Basically, any student can come and order something, although it's for our students mostly, but the price will be higher, of course.
What about the future? Have you already monitored the labor market? Do you know what job you can find in the Czech Republic after the graduation?
Well, I know that after the first year, a lot of guys search for a part-time job. They work in such areas as graphics, web design, photography, do various projects related to films. So basically, it's a wide range of different spheres where you can apply your skills. I myself have only worked with some freelance projects in graphics.
So you have already
Yes,
worked.
I've already worked. So I know it won't be a problem to find a job after graduation, even with the bachelor's degree, because such field of study as multimedia does not require a master's title. So in short, a great future awaits a successful undergraduate student, but you have to put some efforts.
I see. Are specialists in the field in demand in Europe?
Well, it is basically a technical field of study. Therefore, if you have some kind of knowledge, if you have a good portfolio, you can easily find a job in this sphere in any country in Europe.
So the degree of the Czech university has the same value, say in German or in Switzerland, anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know about Erasmus, the student exchange program?
Yes, of course. I know about the Erasmus program. I looked into it but realized that I didn't apply for the second year in time. Let's say you want to participate in the program during your second or third year of study. In that case, you must start submitting applications more than a year before. And let's not forget that the multimedia and economics is a very rare study program, and it is rather difficult to find something similar in other European universities. And therefore, if I even will participate in the Erasmus program, a lot of disciplines will not be credited in my university. So I have to prolong my studies for, say, one more semester.
So it is difficult for the technical point of view, but possible.
Yes, of course it's possible, but be ready to study afterwards for a longer period of time.
Okay, if you put all the problem aside, where do you like to go personally?
Well, I'd really like to go to Italy and Belgium.
Me, to be honest, Italy and Belgium definitely. Okay. Hello again, here I am again. Ogla, here is Katya. I was in the past and I'm now, and I'll be in the future, so hello again. And now I'll ask Katya a quick round of short questions. Katya, tell us about your 5 places in Prague.
Damn, I know a lot of good gastronomic places in the Czech Republic.
Tell us.
Well, the first place probably is Wine Food Market. Then any miner's coffee shop. My place of work, if you have a Mac. The Prague University of Economics and Business. And I will name 2 of my favorite districts, Vinohrady and Letna.
Great. A question for those who want to move to the Czech Republic. 5 things to take with you.
Passport, money, phone, laptop, and brains.
Brains are the most important thing, I got it. Okay, your 3 favorite Czech words.
Ty vole. Okay, probably it will be Nazdar.
Come on, Katya, you can't take back what you said once you've said it. 3 reasons why you chose the Czech Republic.
My older sister lived here. I wanted to move to Europe. And the third is, why not?
Yeah, that's fine. I like it. Now, a quick round of questions. GoStudy or GoStudy?
GoStudy.
Photo or video?
Video.
Music or dancing?
Music.
Beer or water?
Water.
Starbucks or Costa?
None of the above.
Then what? Great. Espresso or Americano?
They are the same.
I think coffee shops are deceiving us. Wenceslas Square or Strassmeer Square?
Strassmeer.
That's correct answer. Dormitory or apartment?
Apartment.
Laptop or phone?
Both.
Thank you for watching the interview. Thank you, Katya, for coming. And maybe we'll meet next week. Bye. I have the last question for you, a standard question. What advice can you give to the future student of the Prague University of Economics and Business?
Well, I would probably advise to prepare well for the admission exams. Try yourself on the practice exams. And after that, before you start studying, if you have successfully entered, you have to prepare for what awaits you ahead. Watch some videos on YouTube, for example. Take a look at stuff you will have to learn during your studies. Just start looking for practical knowledge.
Right. Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you.
Thank you for this wonderful review. Hit the like button, write the comment. We need to know how much viewers do we have. So subscribe and thank you.